I'm Chip Templeton here at the Mitchell Memorial Library here at Mississippi State University. This weekend we're having the 16th annual Charles Templeton Ragtime and Jazz Festival. And before I introduce our guest this morning, I'm going to get a little wordy again with all that introduction of where we are. But here in the library on the 4th floor we have the Charles Templeton Music Museum, which is open to the public throughout the week. If you're ever on campus and want to come by for a tour, it's available for you. That collection was my dad's collection. It's called The Business of Music. So when you come experience it, it's more than just about music. It's about the different industries and things in society that change because of it and so forth. So, and I say all that because my guest here is Adam Swanson from Durango, Colorado. I know via Iowa. We've known each other about 12 years maybe or something like that.
Yeah.
And, just tell our audience a little bit about yourself, Adam.
Well, I make a living as a musician, and I've been doing that, well, on the road, really, for most of my life already. I've been playing the piano 20 years, fell in love with ragtime piano and Scott Joplin's Maple Leaf Rag when I was 10 years old. And I think I'm probably one of the only people my age that makes a living at it. One of the only ones.
Well, you have been unbelievably talented from the very first time
I don't know
met you.
about
So
that.
I don't know that you ever learned it. It was like it was in you from the beginning.
When you really love something that much, you can do anything you want
right.
to, you know.
But
you put your mind to.
But anyway, Adam is going to be here, and I tell them about your instrument that you're going to play, just so they'll know. So that doesn't know anything about you.
I'm strictly a piano player.
Okay.
And
you hit all 88 keys. I know that.
I figured they put them up there. You might as well use them.
That's right. Exercise them occasionally.
Yeah. And I've focused on piano, especially my whole life. And I also love the history behind the music. And I also have that collecting disease, like your dad did.
Right, and I have a little of that
records,
myself.
old sheet music, player piano rolls, all the above. And that's, I think, the best way to learn this kind of music, the way that people did at that time, 120 years ago.
And you're a natural educator on that as well, because not only do you know it, you can explain it to somebody in a way that people understand it and it makes them inspired by it.
I hope that's true.
Well, it's definitely true.
Again, it's just because I love it so much.
But we're glad to have you. I know you were here a few years ago, and we're honored to have you back.
Oh, I'm so glad to be back here too. It's been too long. And it's really this part of the country is where the music originated. The Deep South, the rhythms of American ragtime came from this part of the country and the Midwest, I suppose. But
right. Well,
I'm glad to be back down here.
Yeah. So you mentioned the early pieces like the Maple Leaf Rag, I think you said. So tell our audience that if they don't know anything about that, they need to kind of know that's important because.
Well, Maple Leaf Rag is important because it was the first great piece of ragtime music that really changed the American musical styles. There were other pieces of music, other ragtime pieces written years before that, but Scott Joplin's was the best musically, and everyone loved it. It became an enormous hit. Today everyone remembers The Entertainer because it was in the movie The Sting, but no one knew that piece at the turn of the century. It was not popular. Maple Leaf Rag is the one that they all knew, and it was named for the Maple Leaf Club in Sedalia, Missouri, which was a saloon where Joplin played. The saloon was only around for about 2 years, but the piece of music has been loved and played for 120 years.
It's a very famous tune. And I always said, actually my dad always said, son, that's the song that started American popular music, and I don't like your music, and my parents didn't like my music, and so forth, and you could take it all back to Scott Joplin, 1899.
That's exactly right. He was right on.
And so today it's ever evolving again from what I think he set in motion. And he was an African American person who...
He also got royalties on the sale of the sheet music for that song, which I think is supposed to be the first time an African American got royalties on sheet music.
And he did really well at that.
Yeah, he lived on that piece for most of the rest of his life.
Right.
But you know, there's so many great composers besides Joplin that other people don't remember anymore. You know, we're celebrating Eubie Blake and Joe Jordan this weekend,
Right.
two of Joplin's friends and associates, because of this music collection that was recently donated here to join your dad's music.
Tell our audience about this collection that you know, we want this to be the home for various things like this. So we're glad that this family you're going to tell us about added their collection to here as well. Would you explain that?
This is an enormous collection that has been donated to Mississippi State. Almost 50,000, 46 or 47,000 pieces of
Right,
sheet
I've been
music.
through the whole list. It's unbelievable.
The woman's name is Janice Cleary. She did not even play music, but she spent her whole life in Omaha, Nebraska, and collected this music, kind of like me, just because she loved it so much. And she had an enormous and very special family, and a whole bunch of them are going to be here this weekend for the festival, and we're displaying music from her collection in the library for the first time.
We certainly want to honor her, and I like to think that maybe she and my dad are up in heaven
I
having
think they are.
having different conversations about the various pieces that they collected and how they got it and those kind of things.
Because I went to high school in Iowa, I got to spend a lot of time with Janice in Omaha.
So
that's
you were,
how
that's
we
right, you were
became
on
so
that side
close.
part of
I mean,
Iowa that you could get
yeah, and I was privileged that she shared so much of her music with me, and she had known and met two of the African-American pioneer ragtime composers, Eubie Blake and Joe Jordan. So I'm going to be talking about that here at the library this afternoon in the seminar.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you got started as a professional musician. I know you had a great beginning here. So tell us, our audience, a little bit about you as you started.
Sure. When I was about 11 years old, the first ragtime piano festival that I ever played at was Bob Milne's festival in Frankenmuth, Michigan, which is this cute little German town.
I did not know about this.
And Bob Milne and this fellow you may know named Jeff Barnhart
Yes, I'm
were
familiar
the
with
first men to ever put me on the concert stage to play the piano.
How about that? I did not
And
know,
I
Jeff.
was about 11 years old. Then I went to the Old Time Piano Championship.
That's what I thought you were going to say
Right,
first.
and I started playing at all these ragtime piano festivals around the country, which are just, these events are the joy of my life. They really are. And the thing is, you can't make a living doing that. So as I've gotten older, I've tried to focus my career more on playing concerts on my own. And I do have this wonderful part-time job playing at the historic Strater Hotel where I live in Durango, Colorado. I inherited that job from Johnny Maddox, who's one of the famed ragtime revival figures of the 1950s. He sold 11 million records.
That's all?
Only 11 million.
Well, he was certainly an important person in the music industry for his
I'm so lucky I have that
decade,
job playing at that hotel. It's the only sort of part-time ragtime piano job, I think, left anywhere in the country. At Disneyland, they don't hire any full-time musicians. They have a different guy every day of the week, so they don't have to pay any benefits to the musicians.
I did not
They
know
have had
that.
ragtime piano there for years too, but it's the
But
Strater Hotel is the only
Tell
one
us more
left.
about that hotel and why that's so special, because I haven't been there myself. I feel
Sure.
like I have been because I've heard about it. But tell our group
The hotel
here
was
about
built in
that.
1887, and in the 1950s, the son of the owner of the hotel got the idea to put in a saloon with drinks and entertainment. So ever since 1957, there have been professional ragtime piano players in this saloon inside the old hotel. It's like an 1890s saloon in this Victorian hotel, which is just beautiful. It's supposed to have the largest collection of a certain kind of Victorian antiques. I think it's walnut antiques in the country. And a lot of famous figures have played there. Max Morath, Johnny Maddox, Dick Krekel, and now I sort of feel like the last man standing, you know.
Well, you're going to carry on to that tradition very well.
I hope so.
I'm going to show up out there one day.
You've got to come visit me.
One day I
Please
would like to
do.
do that.
Yeah.
All right, well, tell us a little bit more about the, again, I'm going to brag on for you because I know you're not going to brag on yourself, but tell us about your contest winning. I know that you've done something pretty special that maybe our audience needs to know about.
Well, and it relates to this area of the country too, because that
Right.
contest is now down here in Oxford, Mississippi.
That's true.
I don't know if it's heresy to talk about Ole Miss here or
Hey,
not.
we're just having a conversation. But it started out in Indiana.
Illinois.
Illinois, I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm
it's
sorry.
the World Championship Old Time Piano Playing Contest and Festival. Is what it's called. And we added the festival on there because it's more than just a contest. Like this event, it celebrates the music and its history. Right. And it started in Illinois in the 1970s at the Monticello Railroad Museum. Put a piano on the back of a caboose, and that's how it began. And then they moved it to Peoria, Illinois. Was in one of the old
where
hotels
I remember it
there.
from.
I am the youngest person that's ever won it in either division. The youngest to win both the junior and the adult division 3 times. And they thought the contest was going to go under. So they allowed all the 3-time champions to come back and play again. And so I'm the only one that's ever won it 4 times.
That's what
happened. But
to
thankfully, the contest didn't go under. And this wonderful piano teacher named Dr. Ian Hominick at Ole Miss in Oxford took over the contest. And we've had it there at Oxford for a number of years, which certainly a wonderful place for it.
Yeah, it's
and I'm so glad that the contest is continuing. I no longer compete, obviously. I wouldn't have any interest in it anyway.
I think they don't
I'm
allow
the
you
MC.
to do so.
I'm the MC. I introduce the contestants and ask them where they're from and what they're going to play and all that stuff.
Okay.
Anyway.
But you were the world champion 4 years, only person that's
Such
done
as,
that.
as it is.
I understand. Okay. Before time gets away, as we wrap up our segment here, give the audience a little idea of how maybe you have used the Charles Templeton archives for your personal pleasure or for your research as a professional. So explain to someone who may not know anything about the archives here and how they could use it.
The Templeton Collection and Museum is completely unique because unlike so many other university libraries that have music collections, they put it to use. They have scanned thousands of pieces of sheet music. You can access it online. If I can't find a piece of music and I need to play it real quick, all I have to do is sit at the computer at home, go to the Templeton website, and I can print out the sheet music. And I do that probably every month. I use the Templeton collection. And in addition to the digitization of the music, they have it displayed in the library so people can see it along with the phonographs. And we have this festival. It just makes it so much more useful than sitting in a box in a library when no one sees it. That is what is totally unique about the Templeton Museum. And as far as I know, there are no other music collections in the country that put the music to such good use.
Well, we're so happy to hear that you have found it useful and
big time
and so forth. So, and that's what we want to do. We always say we're the people's university here, and so this is all part of sharing what we have with the public. And a nice way, what we're saying, it's free for you to hit that print button on your computer and enjoy. If you want to mount the cover on a picture frame and
artwork
all the way to the music to the artwork. But anyway, we appreciate you being here again, and
may I say one more thing?
Certainly.
You should all come to the concerts Friday and Saturday night.
That's true.
Because there is nothing like live music. I've been doing live streams ever since the pandemic hit, but there is nothing like the live experience of this music in a concert hall with really great musicians.
So tonight, which is Friday, and tomorrow night, Saturday night, in McComas Hall, we're going to have 2 concerts, same professional musicians, different shows each night. So it's not like going to the movie and you see the same movie the second night.
Like
this is 2 different.
Watching a virtual concert on Facebook. This is better.
Right. But thank you for reminding me that we should have end with that plug. So, but anyway, thanks Adam for being here, and look forward to the weekend with you. So thank you for watching this segment, and again, we're coming to you from the Mitchell Memorial Library here on the campus of Mississippi State University with the 16th Annual Charles Templeton Ragtime and Jazz Festival. Thank you.